What could possibly happen? It's fine. Cut. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that. Hi, I'm James Richter. You probably remember me from Free Willy, and you're watching E.T.'s Then and Now.
Let's Free Willy.
It's been over 30 years since Free Willy premiered. Can you believe that?
I can't, actually. I was a virtual unknown. I had no film experience, and I'd come to town and was just auditioning like anybody else. Right. There was a cattle call for Free Willy. I showed up to a dirt lot in Culver City. They gave me a number. I stood in line, I went in the office, I did the read, and I left, and somebody went out of the trailer and said, hey, kid, you want to come back? So I just started this process, and then 7 interviews later, all the way up to the executives of Warner Brothers and everything, and bang, you're making a movie.
I'm sure you miss your family, too. And I hope you find them one day.
I think the thing about Free Willy that still connects with audiences, that keeps it sort of going, is it's a story about a kid who has no home. He's homeless, he's out of place, he has no place to be, and it's about this animal that was taken from his home, right? And so you have these two lost souls that find each other, and as a result of that, this extraordinary, unrealistic, insane thing happens, but that's what the film is. It's about what if. It's about the possibilities. It's about, also, and it imparts a message of, animals and treating them, well, and not keeping them in captivity.
Jason was just 12 years old when he starred in Free Willy. A few fun facts: he did most of his own stunts and actually cut his finger shooting this scene, and still has a scar today. The 1993 film made more than $153 million at the box office and had an iconic soundtrack featuring Michael Jackson.
Will you be there? A lot of the scenes were in the aquarium, and you were just telling me that was all real. And the whale was Keiko?
Yeah, Keiko, yeah.
What do you remember about Keiko?
Oh, he was fascinating. Everything you'd imagine. Orcas are super intelligent creatures, super insightful. He was very aware of crew and people and stuff moving around the tank. Very quickly, he adapted to me giving him signals, and he started to respond to me as if I was his trainer.
Wow.
I mean, so there was a couple of weeks of prep before we started filming, and I worked with him in the tank, and anytime you see my hand go in his mouth, that's me.
You.
There you go.
Were you scared?
Oh, no, you have no fear. You're 12. You're working with a well.
You're like, let's do it. Let's go for it.
What could possibly happen?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Fine. So the relationship between Keiko and I very much is what you see on camera, the bonding, whatever that magic is the audience found, it's real. It was there.
I was gonna ask you, was there a chemistry test with Keiko? Because the bond was real.
I did win an award for Best Kiss.
Did you really?
Yeah, they gave me a little award for Best Kiss with the whale.
With the whale? With
Thanks,
Willy?
guys. Thanks for that.
What would you say was the most challenging part in working with the whale and in the water?
I think it was probably just logistics, because he's it's a whale. He's got moods. He's in a good mood, he's in a bad mood. So when he's in a bad mood, we film other things. When he's in a good mood, we work with him. So that was probably the biggest challenge.
And this film really actually did do a lot for whale preservation. In fact, Keiko was released into the wild. I mean, how significant was that for you?
It's massive. I mean, I think it was the first time any animal in captivity, let alone a mammal that size, had been tried to be rehabilitated and released back into its natural habitat. So all you kids calling the phone numbers and writing in and doing something, you actually made a difference. So it's because of the fans.
What's something about making the movie that would surprise us?
I do recall distinctly during the middle of a scene, like there was something wrong with the animatronic whale, which was rare. I remember in the middle of the scene, and the whale just started floating and turning on its side, and they're like, cut, it looks like the whale's dying.
I don't know if you knew this, but E.T. was actually on the set of that film.
Yes, they were.
We talked, you remember that? Remember us there?
A little bit.
Well, good, because we're about to show you a little clip from that time. Get ready, buckle up.
Willy, this is important to us. Please.
I hated wearing that wetsuit.
Whales, I learned that they need to be preserved, and they're beautiful creatures.
Wow. I think I've grown maybe an inch or two, so that's good,
You leave them alone!
That's the fake whale, yeah. Anything like that is all animatronic.
God.
We shot days down there.
How cold were you?
Every day.
Every day, freezing.
but this scene in particular for me was real emotional. Obviously, the whale didn't jump over me and all this stuff, and I'm just imagining it, but I knew this very special thing was coming to an end.
Yeah.
I literally had like some kind of spiritual, emotional sort of breakdown on that breakwater.
You know what's so funny? I feel like there's so many memes and gifs to this day of Free Willy. When you see those, what goes through your head?
I just laugh that it hangs around.
Right.
I'm like, do I get a residual for that? Or... No, I'm kidding.
You actually have some memorabilia to show us, right?
I did. You guys, I brought this little, I couldn't find my Free Willy 1 book, but I have this like Free Willy 2
Like a memory book?
Yeah, it's got the script and
pictures from set? Or?
Yeah, pictures.
How many kids can say they were swimming with killer whales growing up?
None. There's a shot of
That's right.
Mary-Kate and I having a little smooch.
That's right, they added a
Free
love
Willy.
interest in the sequel.
Hi, Mary-Kate, I miss you. Hope
Aww.
you're well.
Was that your first on-screen kiss?
Yeah.
Sequel? Yeah.
Yeah. It was awkward.
You gave us a framed photo of the cast for our set back
Yeah.
here, which is so special. Look at your pose on that whale, by the way.
I know. I was doing that as a joke, and that became the one they used.
So good. What would you say is the most asked question that you get from fans?
Did the whale really jump over you? And if you really have to, like, come on, guy. Yeah! And then the other one is,
It's not real.
The other question is, what did you do after Free Willy?
Now 44, Jason James Richter lives in LA. He's continued acting and moved on to producing. And those Free Willy connections remain to this day. His stepdad actually directed the sequel.
My mother and him met on the set.
Come on.
Jason also reunited with his Free Willy co-star Danielle Harris for the horror film Natty Knox.
Well, I never bought it. I never bought you.
What would you say is your favorite project that you've worked on since Willy?
Probably The Little Things.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that.
I got-
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, and Rami Malek.
Who is that? Talking to Sal. It's Joe Deacon. You're kidding. No?
You know, not only do I get the love and you know, the buzz of Free Willy, and people remember that and all that kind of stuff. I've had an opportunity to you know, work in a lot of different genres, a lot of different films with incredible different types of actors and people. I mean, I feel really blessed, man. I've had a really good life. So that's what I take from it, you know, and a deep, deep sense of gratitude that 30 years later, people still have an interest, they still find the story, they still understand the elements of it.
Yeah.
And I think the most gratifying thing out of all of it is when somebody that's our age comes up to me and says, I have children, and I showed my kids Free Willy.
Yeah.
That hits me in the heart so hard, man. It's amazing.
Could we ever see you maybe reprise Jesse?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to fire it up again.
Yeah?
And go back. Absolutely. I mean, I had a blast making those movies.
Oh, I love hearing that.
So, and the fact that it had, honestly, the best part of it is that it had such a positive, reverberative message.
Absolutely. There's only one way to end this interview, and that's with little Michael Jackson while you teach me some of the whale moves.
Well, everybody knows this one.
That's right.
You gotta stay alive, stay alive.
But I liked when you were doing this.
This
too,
one,
doing
that one, there's that one. I had moves, man.
You did.